everybody, how are you all today? I'm back at this painting today. We're going to work on the trees a little bit. I have noticed that as we change in the seasons, the light in the studio is a little more difficult for filming because the light doesn't reach into the studio until a certain time of day. So I'm working on that. I think we have pretty good light right now. But just bear with me as I learn how to do this. So we're going to start on the trees. So I'm going to move the camera so that you can see it better. We're going to come up here, right here. We're going to work kind of on the tops of this tree. Sorry. We're going to bring the camera down just a touch. It's very tricky trying to get all of this far enough so you can see everything, but close enough you can see the details. So there we go. Alright, so, I gotta find my palette. There it is. So again, we're working with just three things. Black, white, or white here, black here, and a little bit of gesso. Gesso is really great for moving the paint, and also a little bit, tiny bit of water in one of these here so that it's more movable. So it can work with as I go. So these trees are going to get quite larger. Quite a bit larger. Like last time we talked about, I said I start out small because I'm just not sure how I want it to sit. So these are going to be bigger. After it sat here for a while, I looked at it and realized that I wanted the width to be bolder. So I'm going to work on widening them out just a bit. And I also want it to be a little straighter because I do want this trunk to just kind of come straight up out of this water. So I realized I've got this shape a little bit fluty on the bottom. So we're going to change the flute just a bit. I'm just grabbing white and black, little gesso. What I like about these kind of old trees is the striations on the trunks. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of activity going on. All right, so here's the last width of this tree gonna happen right there. That's as large as I think I'm gonna get it on that one. Sorry if I keep getting my head in the camera viewpoint. I look back once in a while and make sure you're not just looking at the back of my head. Okay, so now I'm going to work on this one. I'm going to widen this one out quite a bit too. Again, I'm going to make this trunk straight. One of the things that's really beautiful in Colorado is you'll see these lakes and trees that just grow straight up out of these little frozen spots. There's a lot of aspen trees that do that. We want to make sure that this curve mimics the width of this, otherwise it looks kind of silly. So we want to make sure our curve gets nice and wide to match that. There we go. And I know it looks messy right now because that's just what happens. It gets messy. As I always do the trees this way. It's like I redo them because I'm never really sure how I want them placed until I actually see it on the canvas. Okay, so there we've got, this is starting to widen out pretty good. So now I'm going to go back and do a little detail. I spent a lot of time on the trunks before I get to the tops. This is a pretty slow process, but you know, they're the works of the love that goes onto the, oh sorry, I bumped the camera, onto the canvas. So you need to take as much time as you want to take on it as you need. Like I've said before, it's easy to overwork a painting, but you'll get to the point where you know this is not the point where it gets overworked. Okay, so I've got the shape pretty good there. I'm pretty happy with that shape. So we're gonna widen out, sorry about my head in the camera view again. Try to get this, see if I move that a little bit. Bring it like right here. Now I think you're gonna go back. There you go, like that. So now you can see the whole thing, and maybe my head won't get in your view. I always really enjoyed watching painting videos, and well, they sure look a lot easier than they are. Of course, you know, they have different equipment than us YouTubers have. I do have another camera. It's just I haven't figured out how to get the stuff onto my computer and worked with. Now, see, before this tree went over this tree, so we're going to go back and bring it back on top again. But to widen out that trunk, I had to bring it on top so I could feel it and get it right. So now we're back, and it's a little opposite than last time I showed you. Last time I showed you how we did the shading behind it. So now we're gonna brighten up here again. Now what happens if you try to switch that, you're gonna see some paint ridges under there, so you don't really want that. At least I don't. I don't think it matters a whole lot, but I do try to work at making sure the tree on top is where you're going to see the ridges, and you don't see any major ridges underneath. And every once in a while you got to take the paint off of your brush, so I'll just wipe it here, or sometimes I just use my painted skirt, painted pants, whatever it is that I'm wearing, because the brush will get too overloaded. I don't know if you can see, and it'll get too thick, and then you don't get the edge of the brush working properly. So sometimes you gotta take all the paint off of it and reload again, because especially on these you want a sharp edge on your brush. Okay, so we're gonna come in here and bring that shadow that I talked about before and bring it up now that we've got the right width on that trunk. And then we want to highlight just a little bit right here, because the other thing is you don't want it to disappear into the back of your nighttime painting. And remembering, trees are not perfectly straight. They're also not perfectly smooth on the edges, so and if you have a little problem with working the paint, then just grab a little bit of water. At least that's how I do the trees that I do. Okay, so now we're going to get the shadow right here on this side, but I'm going to have to turn the painting for just a second to work it, because I can't get to it that angle. I was working on another piece last night, and I took some pictures. I'll have it up on my pages of the tree, the painting upside down, because I was doing the leaves, and to get my hand to work right and have the leaves moving in the direction I wanted them to move, I had to put the painting upside down to work with it. But see, now you can start to see the depth. You can see that shading right there and how that's working. Okay, so now I'm going to move up the chain here, and we're going to make this fatter. Okay, so now I've been talking to you for a while now. I try to keep these to be, 10 to 15 minutes. And I know it doesn't seem like we got very far today. Sorry about that. But it's just to show it to you in real time. This is how it works for me. So now we have the right width here at the bottom. I'm happy with that. That's a really good width, and I like how it's pretty straight. I'm going to probably straighten this out right here. I just noticed that while I was talking to you. Looked at the camera, and I can see that. There we go. So that's straightened out a little bit more. And then we're starting the curves. So, little fly, go away. I've been having flies trying to sneak in. It's that time of year. And then we'll do more highlighting next time we work on this one. And, it'll be a little while before we start getting the branches, but we're getting there. This is what I consider love trees. These are my love trees, so this is a love painting. I hope you all having a beautiful day out there. Bye.